And Vrains does it again, everybody. Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be an episode impression regarding Yu-Gi-Oh VRAINS, episode 10. And I'll be honest with you guys, another great episode, another emotional episode. This was one of those episodes where I'm like, what the hell, at the very end? But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But let's go ahead and talk about this week's episode. So the episode starts off with recapping last episode where Topological Dragon is about to use its effect to wipe out Playmaker's life points. The duel resumes in episode 10, by the way, with Link Reset, which is played by Playmaker, and it negates the effect of Topological Bomber Dragon and allows Playmaker to discard one card to summon a Link monster from his graveyard, which obviously is going to be Decode Talker. And this is actually something Revolver praises, the whole negate and summon to make yourself stronger, and Playmaker is forced to summon a Dragonoid token at the end of his turn due to Dragonoid Generator. That's when Ignis pleads to Playmaker about the situation, but is ignored until Ignis convinces Playmaker and they both agree they need to use Storm Access in hopes of getting a stronger Link monster, which will require an even larger Data Storm than Revolver's, which Ignis happily provides by unlocking Cyverse material. However, when he did that, he screwed themselves later on in the episode, and again, we'll talk about that in a minute. We go back to the gentleman with Revolver, and apparently from this episode, that is the conscience of Revolver's father, something to talk about later, by the way, and he releases out a card, or the beginnings of a card, rather, and this card, again, plays significance later on. However, Playmaker does receive Firewall Dragon from the Data Storm, but before he can summon it, Revolver activates a trap called Remote Rebirth, a trap that special summons a card from Playmaker's graveyard next to Topological Bomber's Link, which is obviously Capacitor Stalker. Then Revolver uses Capacitor Stalker's effect to essentially end the duel in a draw. It's then that Revolver uses the Data Storm to transport them to the next battlefield where no one can interfere. It's right in the center of the Data Storm, and in fact, they make a nice reference to the center of the hurricane with that, because it's nice and quiet, but again, we'll talk about that in just a second. While everybody's watching this, Solid Technology begins to wonder why Revolver can control the Data Storm. In fact, Solid Technology's executives are like, he can control the Data Storm, it couldn't possibly. So I got a feeling that Solid Technology knows either Revolver or Revolver's father and knows who he actually is. And that's going to be a theory video later on down the road, I'm sure. But anyway, Solid Technology does wonder that. And in the center of the Data Storm, it's quiet again, hurricane reference. Playmaker says this is Revolver's field. And it's here that Revolver challenges Playmaker to a master duel, the first one in VRAINS. And real quick, before I talk about any more of this episode, I want to remind you guys what a master duel is. Basically, it's the trading card game duel. It's not the speed duel where you start with 4 cards in your hand, 3 monster zones, 3 field spell zones. No, that goes away. It goes back to a regular field. And that's the master duel. So, the master duel is where the true power of Link monsters can be unleashed. And Revolver obtains that card before the duel is started, and the duel begins. Revolver activates the field spell of Fire Prison, which increases his monster's defense, but also makes sure that they can only summon Link monsters equal to the level of the strongest monster on their field. Also, only Link monsters can attack, and Fire Prison cannot be destroyed by card effects. Again, I thought Zark was overpowered, but this card is just freaking ridiculous, and it is that card that was released earlier. Revolver then begins summoning Sniffer Dragon and Magnavariant Dragon. He uses those to Link summon Twin Triangle Dragon and Belt Link Dragon from his hand. It's a special summon in defense mode. And I gotta say something else. Belt Link Dragon, again, is another OP card. Again, I thought Zark in Arc 5 was horrible. This is just ridiculous. So anyway, it also gains wall counters, limiting Playmaker to 2 Link monsters, who are the only ones that can attack. Playmaker draws a Belt Link Dragon, gains a counter. It soon becomes obvious that letting Revolver go first was a big mistake, as he got the advantage with summoning Link monsters. Playmaker counters by summoning Link Slayer in attack mode, followed by Backup Secretary and Stack Reviver to Link Summon and Code Talker. And Stack Reviver effect revives Backup Secretary, and Beltway Dragon is the only one that can be attacked, causing Playmaker to lose 100 life points in damage. As he summons Interrupt Resonator, whose attack increases by 100, but it's in defense position, and he also uses Cyber's Catch to draw 2 cards. Revolver then adds up with his turn by following the past trend, putting a counter on Beltway Dragon and summoning Auto Variant Dragon to Link Summon again, which allows him to summon 3 Burst Buster Dragon. And at first, Playmaker and Ignis were like, well, wait a minute, he's going to summon Topological Bomber Dragon, and he didn't. And that makes them think something is up here. But it causes 2 counters to be removed from Belt Link Dragon. As he attacks Backup Secretary, Playmaker tries to save it, but Revolver uses his Dragon effect to negate the effect, as Playmaker uses Interrupt Resonator effect once again to change Backup Secretary's defense position, and the Battle Destruction is negated. But 3 Burst Buster Dragon deals piercing damage, leaving Playmaker and Ignis to wonder why he didn't use Topological Bomber Dragon again. Playmaker draws, allowing Revolver to add a wall counter as Playmaker summons Balancer Lord to Link Summon and Decode Talker. Ugh. I cannot talk today, everybody. But anyway, he links it to Encode Talkers, raising its attack, but Revolver uses Fire Prison's effect, causing Cyberse monsters to lose their effects and cause them not to be targeted by his effects or attacked, effectively making it like Cyberse doesn't exist, causing his monsters to disappear and even Ignis to go dark, causing Revolver to, again, shout out those famous words we saw in episode 1, "Begone, Cyberse." And it's Playmaker versus Revolver alone. No Ignis, no Cyberse, leaving Playmaker up against the wall. And that's the duel for this episode. Now, I gotta say, this series is really doing a great job with the emotional felt episodes. Again, this is another one of those episodes where I'm like, what the hell at the very end? I think I'm hating Revolver even more now for all this. He killed Ignis, for Pete's sake. And I'm really curious to see how Playmaker is going to get out of this one, because his entire deck is Cyberse, and now Cyberse has been destroyed. So, yeah, that's going to be very interesting to figure out how that's going to work. But anyway, another great episode of Vrains this week. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you do. This episode gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Vrains is really on a roll, in my opinion. But, as always, in the comments section down below, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Just what were your thoughts in general? And let me know again in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright, everybody, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.